Okay, they just came out with a new beta release for this generative fill in Photoshop. And of course, all the photo evangelists are praying to it, bowing to the ground. Um, but I went through this, some old pictures I had, and this is one I took at a volleyball tournament years ago. But it always bugged me because it's such a good capture with the water coming up and everything else. I just wish this girl in the background wasn't just sitting there, smiling like a goof. And you got a guy back there probably eating a hot dog and a mysterious little mini hand. So I just wanted to see because the one thing I saw out of this uh, generative fill was adding things to it, pulling in their stock stuff doesn't work very well at all. You will spend so much time doing it rather than just doing it yourself. But I did find that it was good at removing stuff, especially like people in a city, things like that I had in my other video. But I just wanted to see if it would save me on this. I mean, I'm fine with the image as it is, but it just takes away from the the intensity of this shot. So just want to do a quick video and see if it's the new beta is better or if it's going to work or not. So I'm just going to select this person here. Actually, let me just try to get rid of this person too. And now, if I had to clone all this, you don't know what was behind it, so you're seeing the image for the first time. I could probably do some things and just clone all the cars out, everything out, and just leave her in there. Extracting her would be, because I want to keep all the water and stuff, would probably be a problem, but I just want to see if this is AI can help me with this picture and do something magical. I'm rushing this video. I didn't have time to set up audio or do any kind of pro setup thing, but I just got the new beta, so I wanted to see. So I asked Adobe to get rid of somebody, and instead they gave me somebody else. Hold on, we have three options, and it looks so my choice of weird stock people. Let's try to generate this again. I mean, literally, you hit generate, you don't put anything, and you hit generate again, and that's supposed to remove stuff. Why is it adding somebody else? I didn't type in add person. Funny, because the hot dog eater in the back is gone. Cool. So what approved pictures are the photo evangelist using? Do I need to be using that? Is there certain pictures that Adobe has handed out for certain people to use so they can praise this? Because this is not even coming close to doing what I want. And I'm going to do something in a second that I don't see other people doing, which is zooming in. They don't want to show you the details. I'm just getting random people in here. This complete or totally defeats the purpose. The other thing I saw was because it's in beta, I guess, that it's only like 1920 by 1080 stock images that it's throwing in there. Not that I want any stock images, but the quality of them is just going to be garbage and stuff like the water and splashes and stuff. Are they just finding people that are playing in water too? All right, so let me just throw that out. Let's take this step by step. Hot dog eater, get the hell out of my picture. Generative, boom. The only thing else I can think of is try to take her out of it. But AI just means it's guessing. I don't even know what the philosophy is. I thought it would be like, I can see if they were taking stock images and trying to compute and make them match your image. I could live with that. I mean, that's not bad. But that's not my main problem. That was an easy one. Let's get rid of the hand. Is it just because they're so close that I just can't do it? Yeah, also said I saw somewhere that they're using your images to learn from. So hopefully they're using all my images to learn from. If they're going to spy on me anyway. Let's try this one more time. Just get out of my picture. I mean, there's so much chaos going on with the water and stuff. I just don't want any distractions. But I can't imagine people using it for simple things. Cool. I mean, the one good thing is they're out of focus too. It blurred my water up, but I mean, I could patch that, but I don't want anybody there. Who are all these random people showing up in my damn image? Get the hell out. And I don't even want to zoom in on her face. This is like volleyball and Walking Dead universe. Who? What in the hell is that? Great. Click one button for easy pervert inclusion. I mean, they're just slapping stock stuff on there. It's crazy because it blends their stock stuff in there pretty well. But it is not what I want. And this is a problem. Even on the simplest things, I have had to sit there and hit generate so many times. I don't have time for it to guess. Well, there's 2.5 people, so it's just throwing up random. I think it's just looking at the colors and just going, oh, let's blend some colors. This is garbage. That doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, and I know their big thing is going to be, well, now you're going to need to pay for our, because what happens when it goes out of beta and they no longer have, 1080 stock pictures being thrown in here and they're using high-res photos. Well, that's all on their server, so that's going to use some computing power. So I'm sure there's going to be an extra charge or something for that. Let's just see if I could just cut her out. I don't know what that would do because it's not going to remove anybody. Okay. It's got her and the other girl. So, yeah. All right, this picture, I'd have to do it myself. So, that's a bust. All right, well, here's a picture of my friend Allison as a zombie. And for everybody thinking that they could fake do some Photoshop stuff and just make themselves look, super cool, let's just see what happens here. As far as just even selecting the subject. Still doesn't get all the in-betweens. You can see where fabric's kind of cut into. It just skips this. I've done it a couple times where I'm like, oh, let me just go through here and try to add all this back. But I could have just used the pen tool and already cut her out. I mean, there's so many other ways. And the funny thing is, if you look at this, using their generative AI stuff, missed part of her leg there, missed part of her foot. If I get rid of that and I just go over here to their normal, remove background, from what I've seen, it actually does a better job. Let's see. Nope. But this is Photoshop selection tool anyway. They haven't spent the time to master it, and now they're trying to throw it in generative AI. This is not pro level stuff. This is just kind of like, eh. Half that's gone. I haven't even gotten to the hair yet. Legs butchered. I mean, it's a zombie, so having a chop up leg, not a big deal. The only thing that kind of helps is with the hair and stuff, but there are so many easier ways to do this too. I mean, you could just dodge some of that back. But I'd still have to go back and fix the rest of it. So let's just say, okay, now using their selective tools to cut it out is not going to help me. Let's just fake it. We're going to use AI. Now, granted, like I said, Photoshop doesn't have, they're using their own stock library, which is limited. They're not stealing every artist's work, every photographer's work, everything on the web like the other sites are doing, where they just basically scour the web. So if I said, make this, like a comic book, but in the Todd McFarlane Spawn universe, well, they would just go steal Todd's stuff, his style, his artwork, everything, and then just put it in my image. And then I could go and post it on Instagram and be like, oh my God, guys, look at me, I'm an artist. So let's just see if I was going to cheat this. We already know it's cut out for bad, but let's just see if the AI fixes it. So, cut out. Now I'm going to put standing in old house. I have to put standing in because if I don't, then it's just going to put a house behind her. Let's see what happens. The other thing I noticed is it always puts things right against. An old dark house. In the middle of standing in the middle of old dark house. I'm hoping if I say middle, it pushes the background back further. Let's just see. The one thing I noticed is if you try to do water or something like that, it does try to add reflections. It does try to add shadows. That's not what I want. And I did put old dark house and it's still bright. It still tends to do something where it's like it tries to grab the colors from the image. For instance, if I took, let's see what happens. If she's got an outfit that is we'll say it's blue. And then see what it does to the background, if it alters the background at all. Yikes. Okay. Yes, I missed a part. I think we'll be all right. All right, quickly, using my AI, reselect the character, invert, standing in old, dark, abandoned building. I'm gonna have to write like 5 paragraphs. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna see if it actually grabs the blue and tries to make the whole background blue. Because I've had a couple situations where if they're wearing a color or something like that, it basically just finds backgrounds that match that color. Still not dark. Did I not? I said dark abandoned building. Standing in I don't know how to say, standing in old dark abandoned building. Dark, how many ways do I have to say dark? It did ignore the color, which is good, so it might be just going off skin color, because notice everything is skin color. Let's say if it's old dark dark old building out of focus. Jesus, I could have done this image 4 times by now. I mean, even this part don't make sense, because I could have just went to Adobe stock if I was going to use it, and then just looked through all the stock pictures and be like, there's a cool background, and then just brought it in here and then slapped her on the top of it after I cut her out with a pen tool or something that works a lot better. At least that one's out of focus. I mean, if you were a beginning Photoshop person, you'd probably be thrilled with this. Let's just move in here and see what we got going on. Oh, okay. Foot's blurry as hell. I don't even want to talk about the selection stuff. Did something to her finger. Of course, I've noticed a lot of times when you put stuff like standing in or something like that, there's a stock photo behind it. So you end up with pieces of the photo behind it. So if there was a person in the stock photo, it doesn't remove them. It just has them. Let me try this one more time. I don't know how else to say it. We'll try graveyard. How about that? It's a zombie. Standing in dark graveyard. I wonder if they are trying to do like the other ones. If I just didn't even bother selecting her out and I just said add comic effect, if it would even try. Wow. No. No. And I said dark graveyard. I'll have to put graveyard at night, I guess. This is not me editing this video to show you and make fun of Photoshop or what Adobe's doing. They're jumping on the AI stuff. And AI is not correct. People are still getting 5 fingers even in the ripoff sites. Graveyard at night. I said at night. Let's go. No. No. I mean, you can only pull in the image. If the images aren't that good in their stock library, that's all you're going to get. Standing on cloudy, foggy hill. I mean, see how much time I'm wasting doing this? You definitely wouldn't use this for a business because, you know, time is money. But even for a hobbyist, this is not going to help you. Let's go move in and look at the hair. What happened to the fingers? She's got 4 fingers now, and she's hovering a hot dog. All the strands of her hair is gone now. So it just threw that out and said, hey, we'll make that easy. I would just spend forever cleaning this up. And the problem is, again, like I said in my last video, it's not slapping the background that it's adding on another layer. So it's not like I could go in here and say, oh, well, I'd have to literally just go through and try to clone this out, but I would have to select her to be able to clone it out. And if I'm going to select her, I might as well cut her out myself. This is what everybody's all hyped up about. The end of photography and graphic design and everything forever. You're kidding me, right? The only thing AI can do is copy what you give it. So the other sites are stealing from the entire web. Photoshop's just grabbing from their stock library. They do not have enough stuff. I know, I've been on those sites. There is not enough stuff. Let me just see what happens if I just say, well, I guess you have to select the subject. I'm curious to see. If I typed in something like Marvel comic drawing look. Now, because it's not stealing from the web, it's probably going, well, we don't know, because there's nothing like that in Adobe stock library, right? Now, let's just see what kind of what the hell is this? What in the hell is this? Sorry, Marvel. They didn't get your look right. Comic book, let's just say. See, it didn't even convert her. It just found another thing for her. I don't know. I give up. I give up. Let's just, here, zombie. I've embarrassed Allison's picture enough. Let me put somebody else in here so I can embarrass them. Generated images removed because they violate user. From what I've heard, this is not about your image. This is about the image they're trying to use. So apparently, whatever image it... Oh, okay, well... You're the one that put a bikini girl on there. It's not, that's not my problem. Zombie. I guess they don't have any zombie stock pictures. If that's the case, if it's basically just an error that's popping up and saying the image removed because it violates user guidelines, probably means that either they don't have permission to use it in their beta because they're going to have to come out with some new license agreement for anybody that sells stock to Adobe that says people can now use it in all their composites and whatever, but it's no big deal. That's what stock's been there for all together. But so that's beta 2 as far as I know, and it's still not good. So if one of the Photoshop evangelist worshipers hired by Adobe people want to send me the images I'm supposed to be using so I can do this easily, that would be terrific. Then I can do a video praising it as well.